Hello, my impatient. It is I, Andrew the Android Koloski here. I am live and I'm ready to perform for all of you. How art thou? So I'm going to start off by sharing some artwork that I created. Frankly, I think this artwork it illustrates, what I was going through today. It illustrates what I was feeling. And after I share this on social media, I'm gonna read it for you. Okay, here I go. Here we go. So the first one, I say how they are monsters, they're liars, sadists, abusers, gaslighters, deceivers, pharmacological torturers, and sexual fiends. They're just they're just. And I'm going to go on to the next one. Poppy says to me back in, I guess, 2020, the character Bray Wyatt's alter ego, The Fiend, is like a serial killer. It's a fictional WWE character. I say, is my dad saying he's trying to turn me into a serial killer? Well, my father won't succeed. I'm a loving bunny, llama, Yorkie puppy. I'm the nicest person on planet Earth, a goody two-shoes. And Dr. Natural says, this is an example of predicate logic. Your father saying serial killer made your mind go haywire. And the last one is my mother's green bunny. The mom and dad say to Otto, you're a loser and a burden, Otto. You suck so much. Green Bunny, who's Otto Greenberg's superhero secret identity, he says, I am having an emotional tsunami. Fuck you both. But he can turn and face them when he reacts to them. And he goes to a therapy session. He says, fuck you too, Dr. Natural. You are negligent. And then he's in the emergency room. He's like, oh no, they put me in the psych ward for being angry. And that's the artwork we created today. That's the artwork that we created today. Somebody asks, is my father really dying? Well, he's got prostate cancer. I don't know if he's dying. I mean, he's trying to get it into remission. I hope he's not dying. I hope he's not dying. Basically, I'm just very angry over how my life has turned out. I'm irate, I'm angry, and I can't be around my parents. They say you won't even spend Father's Day with your father. Somebody says you should be nicer to him. It's Father's Day. No, I agree. Somebody says it's literally unforgivable. Okay, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm just enraged over how my life has turned out, and I blame my parents for it. Really, that's basically what's going on here. Giant Big Lighter says he invited his father over this morning and cooked him breakfast, and they had a nice time. Somebody asks me, how are things going with my mother? Well, I didn't get along with my mother, stepfather, or father today. I was in there for a second or two. I mean, I did artwork with my mother, but I just can't get along with my parents anymore. I can't be around them for more than like 5 minutes. Crazy Carl says, "You started it. You did nasty stairs." Somebody says, "Can you bring yourself to forgive them?" Yeah, I mean, I honestly do believe they abused me. I honestly do believe they bullied me. But in order to move forward, and especially in order to coexist at this household, my psychopharmacologist, they said you gotta try to forgive your parents, even if they had nefarious intentions to hurt you. Even if they did, uh, you know, you got to try to forgive them. Or don't. It'd be miserable. You know. No, it's Poppy's last Father's Day, and it might not be his last Father's Day. Dale isn't dying. So he says, "This is all very sad, Andrew. This is all very sad." I didn't necessarily fight with Poppy. I just couldn't get. I just didn't. I just couldn't be around him. I didn't fight with him. I said, "You're fucking lying. I'm leaving. You're fucking liars and gaslighters." That's basically what happened. I'm like, "You're fucking liars, manipulators, and gaslighters, and I'm out of here. I can't be around you. You're obviously deceiving me. You had nefarious intentions." And I went in there for a second, and that's how I felt, and I left. I didn't fight. So he says, "Take your medication and face reality, dude." So he says, "That is a delusion, as you know." Taylor says, "You need help." Maybe. I'm enraged at my mother, father, and stepfather for how my life turned out. I am capable of feeling remorse, but I definitely think I definitely am fucking enraged at my parents. Just definitely enraged at them. Like I almost view them as Satan, and I know they're not Satan. They're providing me with a house, they're providing me with a place to live, but I'm just fucking enraged at my parents. Somebody says, "One day you won't have access to the computer. One day you'll have your own place. One day your parents will be gone, and you won't be able to." Somebody says, "You can't blame anyone but yourself for your life turning out this way." Somebody says, "Your parents didn't cause your mental illness." Somebody says, "You're not justified in this anger. You are delusional." Somebody says, "It's delusions, Andrew." Somebody says, "You have schizoaffective disorder." Kyle says, "You feel angry because you have a sickness that makes you feel this way, regardless of what people do." TV asks, "Andrew, have you ever apologized to your parents when you come around from these delusional states?" That might be, I mean, I don't know if they'd be willing to hear it or if they'll even accept it, but that might be a good strategy to do. You know, it might be too late to apologize, but it might be good to try to feel badly for ruining what might be my father's last Father's Day, and you know, like heartfelt, give him a heartfelt apology. Say, I'm sorry. Look, I'm sorry, and I guess I'm the sick one. I'm the monster. I'm the fiend, or whatever you want to call it. Nobody had. So he says, you act out on holidays. You love attention. Well, the only time my parents are around me is on holidays. Other than that, they stonewall me and leave me in solitary confinement. So the only times I'm around my parents are on holidays. No, they're not. They're not around me all day. That's very erroneous and incorrect. Um, I'm never around my parents. They never interact with me. I'm just in solitude. I'm in here alone all day long. No, that's not true. I mean, I do see my mother. She brings me dinner, but I don't interact with her. I'll occasionally, once in a while, draw with her for an hour out back, but I'm never around my parents. I'm in solitary confinement. I'm in solitude. I'm never around anyone. I'm always alone in my head. And that's the fact. Aside from holidays, I'm just alone, stonewalled, left. And they say, the reason they leave me in solitude is because of how I react to them. But yeah, I never interact with my mother. I never interact with my father, hardly. I don't interact with my stepfather. I just sit in solitary confinement. So he says, why would they want to see you when you act that way towards them? So he says, they do deliver you food. They do deliver you dinner. Somebody says, to be honest, he could decide, he could choose to take more meds, but he chooses not to. He's delusional. So basically, the only times I'm around my parents are holidays, and when I'm around them, we fight. And the rest of the time, I sit in here in solitary confinement, pouring my life down the drain on social media. It's really toxic. It's really bad. But on a positive note, I'm starting that mental health recovery group next Monday. Um, so he says this could be Poppy's last Father's Day, and this is what he gets. I hope his other son showed him a good time. I hope so. I hope he did. I hope he did. Uh, yeah, I'm just. Somebody says, imagine if what you were saying wasn't. What do you mean by disingenuous? What does that mean? But they say you wouldn't have a computer and all the support you get on a daily basis. So he says recovery from a brain-eating disease, schizoaffective? No way. Somebody says disingenuous is a high school word. It means not truthful. So he says the truth is your parents didn't pharmacologically abuse you. You have schizoaffective disorder and you're doing nothing to help it. All right. Yeah. Taylor says the thing is you only want to hear positive feedback. The truth is you push away everyone that wants to help you. TB asks, Andrew, do you ever try to write down how things could change for the better? I think you should try writing it down. Splurgeold asks, do you bully your parents because you never had the courage to stand up to the actual bullies and you need a weak target to vent all the anger? I do think my parents do indeed bully me, and a lot of times I react to their narcissistic baiting and bullying. I know it's not documented, but I'm very much the passive one. I'm very much the one who I feel like when I walk in there, they're aggressive with me. They're it just doesn't fucking matter. I feel like you're just flying monkeys that don't understand. It's just whatever. But ultimately, it's hostile dependency. Ultimately, it's my responsibility to get independent. Horn Dog says at least it didn't end like Thanksgiving. Yeah, I accused them of being liars and gaslighters, but it didn't end with anything physically aggressive like smashing of a plate. So that's a good thing. I just said you're fucking liars and left. All right. Realistically, I could try to listen to people on the internet, but realistically, the best way would be to talk about this in therapy, to maybe do family therapy. I realize I don't have a doctor who I talk to at the moment. I 100% think family therapy would be a good idea. I don't know if my father, mother, and stepfather would be willing to do it. Yeah, no, I think it would be a great idea. We did it. We did family therapy once or twice in 2011, but realistically, we've never really done it. So he says family therapy doesn't work. Every side. Well, I'm open to hearing their perspective. I'm open to. I want to get well. I want to hear their side of the story. I want to hear their perspective. I want to communicate, and I want to change. But the problem is, nobody communicates with me. There's no communication really. No, I will. I think if there's a trained medical professional, I will listen to them. I will believe them. Yeah. Somebody says you need an apartment. You need to miss your parents. Somebody says I think your parents do love you despite of all of this. Somebody says I need a hobby. I need a hobby. Um, Somebody says, "Did you drink cold brew today?" Yeah, as a matter of fact, I had a lot of cold brew, and I also had a pike roast from Starbucks. So I had a fucking shitload of coffee today. And obviously, coffee can make your mind go fucking haywire. Somebody says, "I can tell you had a shitload of coffee." Oh man, I probably had a ridiculous amount of coffee today. Somebody says, "Don't do that." So your mental illness makes your mind go haywire, and the caffeine just makes you go even more haywire. You overdid it with coffee, and that caused the delusions. I mean, a cup of coffee in the morning is fine, but don't go fucking, having 20 million cups. That's bad. Somebody says doing the same thing over and over again is the definition of insanity. Somebody says, how about a nice Taco Bell and some Cold Stone tonight? Yeah, I had Chinese food for lunch, sweet and sour chicken with vegetable lo mein. Um, Peter says, I don't stop drinking coffee till I'm shaking. All right. So he says, try to limit it to 2 cups a day, big dog. Don't go fucking crazy with coffee. Thank you, Horn Dog. Thank you. So he says, bro, for real, work out, do dumbbells. Maybe I'll take a bath. Do you think I should take a bath? Maybe I'll drink some seltzer water in the bath. Maybe I should take a nice warm bath. I should get like that bubble bath. I'll see. I'll ask my mother if she has like bubble bath. I think that's for kids though. Let's get a nice bubble bath going. It's not as. So Mrs. Andrew, you live more like a pet than a person. A bubble bath can be fun. No, I do think, family therapy would be good. I do think apologizing um, I don't even know how to go about repairing the relationship. Honestly, I mean, I think repairing the relationship would make everybody happier. Um, Obviously, taking accountability that a lot of this is delusions and sickness. Um, Stop accusing them. Um, um, it's just a fucking nightmare. I don't know. Somebody says, show some empathy for your parents. Your father's sick. Just try to show some empathy. Okay, I will. Um, yeah. Somebody says I'm very troubled. I'm living a very troubled life. Um, to be honest with you, Carl. I know he's like, you ruined Father's Day. Now you're going to kick back in a bubble bath under their roof at 40. Carl, I'm on the verge of having a fucking mental breakdown. So cut me some slack about the bubble bath. I'm not fucking living the dream here. I mean, I understand what you're saying. I ruined Father's Day. Uh, like Carl says, I have a disability. You're not doing it on purpose. Um, Somebody says, have empathy for yourself as a mentally ill person. You're sick. Somebody says, you're literally stuck, bro. Some Horn Dog says he needs to de-stress before he ends up bad or in a hospital stay. Just fucking relax, take a nice bubble bath, de-stress, calm down, let the coffee wear off. It's okay. I hear what you're saying. I'm not gonna. It's okay to de-stress and kick back in a bubble bath. So just yeah, maybe just get off the live stream now, take a nice bubble bath, and hopefully I calm down a little bit. All right, guys, I'm gonna hop in the bath now. I think that's a great idea. So it says, get off the live and calm down. Yeah, that's a great idea. And Horn Dog says, no more coffee, no more coffee. Somebody says, try to apologize to your parents after too, especially your father and stepfather, for ruining, the day. Okay, I will. First things first is I'm going to try to de-stress in a nice bath. Second one, and then afterwards I'll apologize to my parents, and I'll try to. I'll just say I'm sorry. All right, see you later, guys. I mean, I could apologize to my parents before the bubble bath. I could send them the text now, but yeah, I'm gonna. Okay, I'll talk to you guys later. Peace out.